What comes first, brand or personal brand?
I did a lot of personal brand work before I worked on the brand that I've got. Documented that and built an Instagram following to 20,000.
I think I saw a massive switch of you around that time that we competed together.
Yeah. So that was a transition, and I was like, right, now's my time to flee the nest and push. I want to be unique. When everybody goes left, I always say, let's go right then. I just started popping up in Miami, Marbella, Ibiza, and showing people that you could be in amazing shape all year, still live an amazing life, and as a byproduct, mate, the business just boom, 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 boom.
Did that personal brand come first and the business grow after that?
Yeah. I did a lot of personal brand work before I worked on the brand that I've got. So I'd competed against you, didn't have a coaching brand. I'd done numerous photo shoots and I'd documented that and built an Instagram following to 20,000. I worked under a coaching brand. So I didn't have an identity in that coaching brand. I was just a coach. And then I launched the brand, and the personal brand supported that. So there was a lot of dog work put in, a lot of content creation, short form, long form, traveling to Miami. I was a coach, but the brand that you will know it now and the people who watch this now was not there.
No. And I think I saw a massive switch of you. It was around that time that we competed together.
Yeah.
So 2020.
Yeah.
After that show, something happened there where you switched and your content started switching. You started putting more effort into it, and
So that was a transition from where I was a coach for somebody else to then Ben Bray coaching being born. And I was like, right, now I've done the work. I've put the reps in. I can have some form of credibility now. I had the qualifications, and I was like, right, now is my time to flee the nest and push. And after that competition, that's when I pulled back from bodybuilding for the first time.
Yeah.
I was like, right, you was double the size of me. So I thought,
but you better looking, and it's men's physique as well. Like that call comes into play.
The judge
like
said,
it was close. I was just like big and gritty, like gritty boy and pretty boy. That's what I put on the post that time.
Good at
it's
posing.
close. It's close because we were both very good, but like in different ways.
Yeah, and then the judge said 10 kg of muscle. I was like, right, see you later, mate. And then that's when I went in. I was like, right, content creation. That following year, Miami, Marbella, Ibiza content trips, just like pumping content out that nobody else was producing. And alongside that, studying and then growing what we all know now is the coaching brand and New Gen.
So when you're going on these trips, is that the focus to just make something happen?
Yeah, to network, to open my way of thinking, to look at how other people in different environments operate. And it was all about, I was very comfortable. I was living at home with my mum, didn't really have any outgoings. I was doing well at this point from a coaching standpoint because it was moving very quickly and progressively. And at that point, coaching weren't what it is now. There was me, Jace, Cal, Zach. There was a few more, and it was like, right, okay, there's a gap here, and we was all on it. We was all pushing. And it was just to see what was out there. And I looked at the coaches at the time, and they was all creating the same stuff. I was like, right, I want to be unique. When everybody goes left, I always say, let's go right then. And that's what I did. And I just started popping up in Miami, Marbella, Ibiza, and showing people that you could be in amazing shape all year, still live an amazing life. And as a byproduct, mate, the business just boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, because you wasn't just doing content about like, this is the fitness tip here. This fitness.
I was
there.
shooting guns in Miami.
You're doing everything, and I remember even like fashion stuff. Like you had your clothing sponsors. One that I remember, I think this is when I realized like you changed. It was you was in a mirror, and then you did the swipe across. Do you remember that bit of content?
Yeah.
That's one in my head when I was like, oh right, Ben's going down a different path. He's not just talking about fitness, this and that.
Yeah.
He's talking about this whole lifestyle, and he's building the personal brand.
Yeah.
When did personal brand even become a word? It's becoming a buzzword now.
Yeah.
But even back then when you was building a personal brand, I guess it wasn't, no one never said this is a personal brand. You're just building yourself on Instagram.
And I don't think I knew I was doing that at the time. I don't think I was creating content thinking, right, I want to build a personal brand. It was just, I want to be an identity in this fitness space. I want to be someone who people want to look like, they want to live the lifestyle like. And I feel like now everybody's doing that. But you've got to capture it now when you've got the skin in the game. And I think that's what Jace relates to is like you now, me, Jace, a lot of good coaches, we've competed, we've done photo shoots, we've coached for years. And now we live the life that a lot of people want to live. And I think the way that people are defining personal brand now is that they're just trying to document that. But it's harder for certain people because they don't have that lifestyle. But I think a lot of people And I heard George Heaton say this is like, people said to him, why is he so big on his personal brand now? He's like, because the work's been done. People want to know
you can double down on it even more.
What I've done and how I've got here, and I'm just going to showcase that. And you're already ahead of the game, so it doesn't matter if you give clues away along the way. So
yeah. So what would you recommend for them people in that starting position then? If you're saying, because we're talking about this brand versus personal brand, how do people need to be posting on Instagram to kind of get that traction to then build the brand off the back of that?
Not enough people have done the work to grow the brands from a coaching standpoint and from a personal standpoint. So that's why people aren't interested in the content. And I feel the best thing that you can do, if you look at any industry who's got a really strong personal brand, they've got a certain level of achievement, and you fixated on that person because of what they've achieved, what they've done. You look at Ollie Marchand, look at him now, like in the high rock space, he's got the gyms, he's got the physique, he's running the marathons, he's doing the races, and it's like, fucking hell, what can't this guy do? And that's a mission I'm on a little bit at the minute, where I've done the bodybuilding, I might have missed the pro card, but I achieved that, I documented it, and now it's like, what can I go and do to build this brand more and get more respect?
Okay, so step one of building a personal brand is just doing interesting shit.
Yeah, do the work.
Just getting out.
Yeah.
Like, just, building your brand, having experiences, whether that's competing, doing high rocks, or achieving something that's great and good. It doesn't necessarily have to be like massive, but it just has to be good to the normie.
Yeah.
And then you can ride off the back of that and bring people into that story.
But the most important thing is you've got to be passionate about what you're doing. Because if not, it's got a shelf life. And that's why I was so nervous when I quit bodybuilding, because I'd gone from this lifestyle person who you followed, being the model, people wanted to look like him, to all of a sudden a big bodybuilder where my identity had shifted completely. But I'd been able to re-identify myself as a bodybuilder. People respected it. The audience changed slightly. My engagement dropped off a cliff. But I didn't care because I was so passionate about this pro card. But deep down, I knew it had a shelf life because I wanted the Miami Ben back, the Ibiza, the Marbella, where I was happy, I was confident in clothes, I was confident going out for dinner, I was confident in how I looked with my top off and with my top on. And I'd lost all that, so I was like, right, now it's time to refine that again. And that's why now I'm so confident in the content, why we've got Chris here today, because I know now that I'm on a mission to become one of the best coaches in the game, study, learn, but also now become an athlete that I've always been. I just lost my way a little bit as a bodybuilder along that journey.
What were the content transition between them? What did, like, if you was to say, like, this is this type of content that I was producing before, and then this is the type of content I started producing when I was a bodybuilder and my engagement dropped off because that previous audience didn't really rock with it?
So there'd be photos of me on a beach looking good, 11, 12% body fat. There'd be photos of me on a track, finishing a run, being on a night out, having drinks, food, versus everybody falls into this trap on a prep. Physique update. Fucking hell. Thanks, Ben. We're bored, mate. We've seen it 5 times this week. And mate, when I said the views fell off a cliff, you're talking 15, 16,000 likes to 500. Yeah. I used to upload the post and just put my phone to one side and think, fucking hell.
No one wants a physique. That's one thing I made sure I didn't do throughout my prep this year. It was like, if you go back on my profile, this is the first year where I didn't do those physique update pictures, because I said I'm not being that type of bodybuilder. I'm going to try and just do different types of content. People won't even necessarily know I'm in a prep. Yeah, I'm just going to do my prep, and then you'll see me on stage, because
your identity becomes your physique. And then people get invested in the journey, but it's just so boring. And so, like, you just, complete transparency, I was just praying one of them was like, right, let's go viral, and just getting more eyes on me. And I lost belief in that content. And as a byproduct then, I lost confidence in my content. I wasn't adding value. And that's when my audience didn't grow. Even though, like you said before we came on here, you'll have a pool of people who absolutely love you. They were still there gunning for the pro card, but the rest had switched off. Oh, well, Ben doesn't really create cool content anymore.
Yeah, it's boring.
He's an Ultraflex Rotherham, or he's stepping on stage. That's as good as he gets. And they'd switched off, but now they're re-engaged. But fucking hell, did that take some work?
I think a lot of bodybuilders think they're the best in the world. I think that's what I've realised from just stepping back just a little bit. You're thinking you're the best in the world. Like, not at the bodybuilding thing, but just like as a person. and everyone cares about you bodybuilding, when realistically it's such a small percentage of people, and there's a massive audience that you can get.
Yeah. And the sad thing is,
that person.
Nobody cares about it as much as you.
You're proper.
You're obsessed. Bro, I used to wake up and think about an IFBB Pro card. I used to go to sleep. And then when I went to the shows and I was watching the people turn pro, nothing changed. I'd be like on their Instagram the next day. Oh, what? 200 likes, a few well dones. He's back at work tomorrow. Fucking hell, like, and I'm killing myself for this. Like, and I get it. You've always got to have a goal. And I think like the IFBB Pro card gets slated a lot now. And I do disagree with it a little bit, because I think that goal means so much to people. It keeps them drilled in for so long. There's not many things that can do that. And I respect it for that reason. But you've always got to leave bodybuilding before it leaves you. And I feel like for me, I was going to turn pro and quit anyway, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, you just wanted that because same with me. I just wanted that IFBB Pro card just because I said when I was younger I was going to get it.
Yeah.
And I needed to fulfill it at some point. And then this year I just kind of had a switch, and I was like, is it actually going to pay my bills? What's it actually going to do for me? What's the benefits? If I do get it, my career's ended anyway, because I'm not really going to push into the pro leagues and do anything amazing there. Yeah. And then I saw the route of PCA, and I was like, well, let me just, I put all my clients in these shows. Yeah. Let me just give it a shot and just see how it goes. And obviously went and turned pro there, won $1,000 in that first day as well. I'm going, there's like, winning $1,000, I'm like, £1,000. Yeah. For just stepping on stage. I was going to do this anyway. Yeah. And I'm walking away with £1,000. Yeah. So it made a lot more sense to me to push down the PCA route. And I think as well with how they're running in the UK, the audience is a lot more bought into everything that's going on. Yeah. Whereas like with Two Bros and the IFBB scene in the UK, people like that bought in. It's more a personal thing. Yeah. But with the PCA, I think the community is a lot tighter, and they actually watch and they care and they see what's going on because of the way, if we're going back to content, that they document everything online. With if you're going as an athlete, they're putting reels out. Yeah. They're doing the backstage interviews. Yeah. Like they're doing the whole award ceremony at the end of the year. Like they're really making it a community thing. And that's why people are bought into that. So for a business reason, it made sense too, because there's more eyes on my face, more eyes on my page. The amount of engagement I got from a PCA show compared to a Two Bros show, massive, because the people actually watching what's going on.
People can keep up to date with it on the reels and stuff like that. Whereas Two Bros, they go offline, you just see a post at a leisure centre. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and
that's it. I never get any engagement. It's just for me. But with the PCA, I just felt the community. Yeah.
And I was invested in that journey a lot more because you had a lot of success in PCA, didn't you? And I think for me, if you're a client, I think PCA is such a good entry standard where you can be like, go and enjoy it. I did a PCA first and I loved it. You've got the pose down, the interviews after. And I think like sometimes Two Bros, you walk backstage, nobody talks to you.
Everyone's just like looking at each other like this.
And I think if you are a new competitor, it is a good avenue to go down.
Yeah. So you don't think you'd ever step back into bodybuilding?
Can hand on heart say 100% no. And it's took me a long time to get there. It has, like, I have bodybuilding clients and I almost like live through them a little bit, like, and I love coaching those type of clients because you see they take physique development very serious, they don't miss. But I weighed up the pros and the cons, and I actually looked at like what it was giving me back, and it was just taking everything. It wasn't giving me anything other than, in my personal opinion, a really good series on YouTube. I think it got me a solid amount of credibility, and that's what I'd recommend to people. Like, a lot of people trusted me because I'd walked the walk myself. But I think the biggest pivot for my content at the minute is the transparency, where I came off PDs completely, and so many bodybuilders, mate, you would be shocked. High-level bodybuilders, pros have come to me and said, how have you done it? And will you guide me through it? And I think if there's one thing you take away from this today, is with your content, you need to be transparent at all times. I didn't want to tell people I was taking gear. I was the pretty boy. Yeah. Next minute, I'm juiced up. And then secondly to that, I was nervous around coming off. And mate, Greg Doucette did a video on me 4 days ago. Woke up 70,000 views. Anxiety through roof, thinking, what?
I got a DM. I was because I did a video with Tommy Fury, and he put that video that I did on his thing, and he kind of talked through it and like talked about me a bit. And I got a message saying, "You're on Greg Doucette's video," and I'm like, oh, "What have I done now?" Yeah.
I watched through it. It was about 4:30. I couldn't get back to sleep before I saw someone send it me on WhatsApp. I was like, shit. Took myself off in the living room watching it like that, nervous. And thankfully it came across well. But the comments, just some of the comments, mate, look at his hair, stupid haircut and stuff like that. But I think that's another thing. When you are posting content, you're the master at this. You've got to just be open to what people are going to say and think about you. And you've got to have thick skin.
It's hard.
It is hard.
Or if people think that it doesn't affect me, and it doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
But I feel it.
It sits there.
Do you know what I mean?
You're
like, I can get through it, but I do feel it at times.
It's hard, mate. I think when I used to post to YouTube 2 weeks out, be in the best shape of my life, and everybody be like, why is he shredded but his face is fat? Little things like that. And I'd be like, I already knew that, but it sits on you, and it used to pull me down little bit by little bit. And I think like that's the challenge with content, and you're always going to get it. You can't avoid it no matter what level. Somebody's going to disagree with what you say or how you look. There's just a lot of negativity online, but you've just got to turn a blind eye to it.
Yeah, I think because when we do what we do, we're living a such better life than a lot of people. And it's for me, sometimes I'm looking at it and I'm like, bro, you can't be coming at me when you're living a life down here, bro. My life's, I'm sorry, not having a big ego here, but my life's 10 times better than yours. You're going into work, you're waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, trudging into a job that you hate,
watching your reel
every single day. Just being a consumer. Remember, when you're commenting bullshit on my post, you are a consumer of my content. That's all you are.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. It's like, They've sat there, they've watched the video, and they've still gone out of their way to press negativity on it. But you'll be similar to me. I get a lot more positivity, and that's what you've got to focus on in life. And I think if your message is meaningful and it's authentic like yours is with what you're doing, you're winning, bro. Like, you are winning. And that's why I say to people now, stop looking to ChatGPT for loads of ideas, or stop looking to other people and their content for ideas, and just think like, what do I want to post? Who do I want to be? What do I want to be remembered for? Because that's going to create your identity, and that's what's going to create your content strategy.
What do you think your main thing is like at the moment? So if I look at mine, I want people to believe in themselves. I want people to feel like they're the main character and like push away from anyone that's haters and stuff like that, and just go all in on themselves and believe. That's kind of my philosophy.
Yeah.
What would you say yours is?
Mine's stretching the vision for the ordinary person. I'm just from Rotherham. Went to school, standard qualifications, college, went through university, didn't really achieve too much. But I always stretched the vision of what was possible, and I talk things into existence. And what I feel I do is I document that. Like, whatever I study, whatever work hours I put in, the processes I'm going through, how I'm feeling mentally and emotionally, I'll always be completely transparent. And I hope people come to my page and think, do you know what, this guy, he's doing well now and he lives a great life, but he fucking works for it. It's not just he worked for it, but he continues to work for it. And I feel like, I hope that I give the average person inspiration to go and chase their dreams and stretch their vision, because I think that's what life should be about.
What's the difference between living in the UK and then living over here now?
I think we become a little bit unrelatable to people in the UK.
I felt like that's why I moved back in the first place. So obviously when I came here 3 years ago and I lived here for a year, I felt like I lost touch with my clients.
Yeah.
And it hurt the business a little bit.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I went back to the UK, the business actually started booming.
Yeah.
Way better than it did before, because people are like, Dudley's back. Everyone wants to jump on coaching. Everyone wants to see me, whatever. So that was actually the height of my coaching as soon as I came back from Dubai. But one of the lows of my coaching was kind of as I was being there probably around a year mark.
That was the same as me here. I didn't grow for the first year and I was like, what's going wrong? And I'd gone from being that coach who was in person every other week, having community events every month, really being a person who was like present, and all of a sudden just been sat in the marina with no in-person elements. But that's where you've got to stretch a vision. I want clients in Dubai, I want community events in Dubai, and that's why I did the shoots. That's why I do them in Marbella, because I want to be present with people. And I think when you're really trying to grow something big, it's like you said to me before you came in here, like you've got to be in person with people at times, and that might seem impossible when we're here, but you've got to make it possible at certain points. You look at Jace, he's always back and forth, and that's what I mean by authenticity. You can't do that if you're not fucking passionate.
I think community is a massive thing coming into 2026 more
The
than
biggest,
ever.
bro. The
Like
biggest.
you've got to build community within you, online presence, within you coaching. Like people just want to feel a part of something. That's why we're seeing run clubs, Pilates clubs, yoga clubs, whatever people are doing.
Yeah. In the world of today, a check-in nutrition training program is not enough for everybody. I said in Marbella, men need men, and I don't think that's talked around enough. And what my main mission of this year with New Gen is the community. 3 photo shoots, 4 in-person workshops, and this year in December we're going to do our first ever award ceremony where we give prizes away, we make people feel part of something, we have bi-weekly calls, and it's not just a check-in. They enjoy the check-ins, but it's like, wow, I'm really part of something, I'm part of a movement. And that's what I always say, you're part of a movement, but I think I've been naive to say that because it wasn't a movement, but it fucking is now. But I think that's a really good point, is build something what people are so proud to be a part of and want to be a part of, because they're never going to leave.
It started off with just you. Did it just start off with you and now you've got a team of coaches?
Yeah, just me and now a team of coaches. One's just moved to Dubai, so that was on his vision plan. One's got the vision to move in Q1, and then we've got Alex, who obviously loves the UK. He's got his family in the UK, but that's the set, like what I always call a separation with New Gen, is like there's a lot of coaching brands out there now, and you might see a secondary coach, but you don't know who they are, or they'll not bring them as part of the business. But with New Gen, I want the coaches in the brand to have a personal brand, so I'm helping them with that. And it's hard. It is hard because like they're part of a coaching business, and it's like, but how do we then become a brand within a fucking big brand? And it's do the work, stand out from the crowd.
So what do you advise these coaches that you have in your team then on building their personal brands? Like how do you push them forward with that?
I always pivot to the values of the business first, which is results. And I want them to showcase high level results. And then it's secondly, standards that we have for ourselves is like, don't be posting stuff that doesn't align with the vision or the values of New Gen. And they don't, and they wouldn't be part of that, but it's do things that other people aren't doing. So like Alex is always pursuing his IFBB, Finn consistently ticking different performance-based goals off, and then Ryan is just in elite level shape all year. And that's like what I am as well now. And I think we're known for just keeping the standards high with whatever we do, whether that's work, check-ins, lifestyle, or clients.
What do you see it like transitioning to in the future then? Because obviously you've got to keep pushing forward, you've got to keep changing. Obviously you said the award ceremony and stuff like that, but where actually is coaching going within the next 5 years? How big is it going to be in terms of like a whole ecosystem of something different?
It's got to be something different now. It can't be what it's been for the last 2 to 3 years.
We've been in it since it was just WhatsApp messaging back and forth.
Yeah, that's all I used to do. Just sit there on WhatsApp all day. Easy work. Now you're on the looms, which I love the looms, but I think the coaching now, it's like you said, why are these run clubs expanding so much? Why is the High Rocks community expanding so much? And why is bodybuilding going the opposite way? Because bodybuilding, you're isolated. You wake up, you do your cardio on your own because you've not got the energy to talk to anyone else. You look at High Rocks, mate. I've got a High Rocks class tomorrow, 6:15, 14 other people prepping for High Rocks Turkey. We have a laugh, we have a coffee after, go Joe the juice, have a spicy tuna wrap. You can't, like, you've got to be thinking now, I always think, not where coaching is going, where's this industry fucking
Fitness
pulling us to?
going, yeah.
Because we've got to pivot and we've got to move, and I feel like it's going in the way of running. It's going in the way of community. It's going in the way of, if you want to build something massive now, you move with the industry. That's what I say.
Do you think COVID had an impact on that? Because people was isolated for like a period of 1 to 2 years.
Yeah.
So off the back of that, people just wanted to get out there. People wanted to connect more, talk more. I think it really made people realize that's what they wanted.
Yeah.
And then the industry's kind of just followed that trend off the back of that.
And I think people want to be surrounded now with the right people, and people who've not just achieved stuff, but they're on the same mission of them. And that's hard as a young guy now. Like, mate, I've got clients who are in my business who are 18, 19, 20. They're at uni. They're paying coaching. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, bro, I just used to pay to go out and get smashed.
Yeah.
I didn't like, and now I look at them and I genuinely sit down with them on a call. I'm like what's the goals this year? And they were like, I want to do the Dubai shoot at the end of the year. I'm thinking, yeah, we can, but how are we going to make that possible? Like, well, I don't go out, I don't drink, I don't do this. the world's changing, bro. And it's like so many people are cutting alcohol, so many young people now, their main purpose in life isn't going out and getting wrecked on a weekend at Freshers. It's, well, I've watched him online for the last 2 years as a teenager, and now I want to be like him. So I'm going to go and work with him, and I'm going to join his community. And I feel like that's where, if you look at the top of the market, represent 24/7, they made a coaching brand off a community.
Yeah.
They have a run club and get 500 people turn up to it because of, they know people at that run club are going to be driven people with big goals who they can network with, who are going to become part of the circle. And you've got to expose your community now to people who are going to inspire them and motivate them. And that's what I try and do a little bit different now internally. Is like, I know I coach a lot of high level people, professionals, good entrepreneurs. And when we go to Marbella, that's what I want them sat down at dinner, talking to an 18-year-old, inspiring him so he leaves that table and they're like, fucking hell, I'm motivated, I'm driven. And that's why I always say, just keep stretching that vision.
There's something that I wish I could just build around me. I had to change my entire friend circle. And I had to build a friend circle of men that actually wanted to do stuff. You have to actively go out and look for it, because a lot of the people that you might have grown up around, a lot of the people that might just be in your gym, that you've kind of fallen into a friendship with just because of environment and where you're about, seeing them every day, they might not be the right people. So you've got to actively search. So what I did is, I'm going through my phone and I'm looking at who's on shit.
Yeah.
Who's on shit?
Look at your story you put today. I love
and then
that.
I'm going to go, boom, okay, let me just put a list of all the guys that I see that are on shit.
Yeah.
And let me contact them all individually, and let's bring them together and let's start something. That's what was in my head, because you've got to curate your own circle.
Yeah. And you've done that big time this year, haven't you? Last year.
Yeah. Try to just that to, because especially like being in the UK, it's easier here in Dubai because there's so a lot of people that want to community networking. There's the run clubs and all that kind of stuff. But in the UK, it's just very standard 9 to 5 life. Yeah. People just living this, going home, watching the TV, going to bed, waking up, doing the same thing over and over and over again. There's not a lot of people that are actively pushing for it. People might talk about wanting it, but there's no one that's sacrificing and pushing for it,
or putting himself out there. It's like you messaged me start of week, let's jump on this, and I was like, yeah, do you know what, you're on a mission at the minute, we'll have a good conversation. That's what people are like here. They think, right, I can maybe learn a little bit here, or I can have a good conversation, or I can get some inspiration. And I feel like everybody in Dubai is on that same movement, same mission. And people say we come here to avoid tax, we do X, Y, and Z, but you look at the people who are in this hub now, and how can you not like it? If you're driven, you only don't like it if you're not driven. Yeah. And that's why, like, I can't see myself leaving here now. And I only came for a 2-3 year stay. Yeah. I've done 3 years now. But I think, like you said, like, life now is about finding them pockets of people if you want to be successful, and spending the time with them, having the conversations and creating your own future dream. Like, that's what I always say. Like, anything you think or manifest comes possible, but you've got to put the work in.
Yeah, no one's gonna hand it to you. Nothing's a handout, and I think that's what people need to understand. You can think about it every single day and say, I want to do this, I want that, but you've actively got to put the work in. And I think a lot of online coaches don't do enough.
They put enough stories on and tell you they're doing enough.
Yeah, they tell you they're doing enough, but they don't actually do enough. Because if we think about the life that we live, okay, right, I've got so many free hours in the day. Yeah. And you're telling me you can't post at least once a day? Yeah. Come on. Yeah. You like, I've got my Dixon Physique account, and then I've obviously got the Identity Method account. I target for, like, maybe sometimes when I'm really foot on the gas, 3 on each. So I'm posting 6 times a day over 2 accounts. Yeah. Wow. It's only me. Yeah. I don't have no editor. I don't have no, like, literally, when I say it's just me, it's me. Yeah. And I'm posting 6 times a day over those accounts, and still doing the client check-ins that you're doing, because I still run my coaching business. Yeah. I'm doing check-ins with the personal brand one-to-one clients that I've got. I'm updating stuff in the community. I'm creating resources. Yeah. I'm doing all that kind of stuff. And you can't just post once a day on Instagram at least. Yeah.
That's work rate. That, like, you find solutions to problems, don't you? That's the thing. And, like, we live a life now where you've got to create time. Otherwise, someone else will. And they'll be present and they'll be visible. But it's like, what I find interesting about you, and what I want to ask you is, you had the coaching business doing well. What made you think, right, let's launch a completely new business now and double the work rate and
Because I was falling out of love with coaching, I think, a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because my bodybuilding journey was changing.
Yeah.
And my mindset towards certain stuff was changing. So I was just falling out of love with it. I've done it for so long. And I just didn't feel the same passion for it. And I just really feel passion for, like, I started as a content creator. Like, I went to college, triple distinction in creative media. And then I got a high achiever scholarship to one of the best film schools in the UK. Then I went to study in San Diego State University, doing filmmaking there.
Yeah.
And then that's when I discovered bodybuilding and dropped it all. So if we go back to my roots, I'm a creative.
Yeah.
And I enjoy creating stuff and I find it fun. And I feel like with bodybuilding being so rigid, I lost some of that creativity. I lost that fire with it. Even with coaching, you're giving people diet plans, training plans. Everyone has to be set. Everyone has to be rigid. And now I get to have creative conversations every single day.
Yeah.
Like with people that want to create things. And that's what give me that fire. So I saw the gap in the market as well. And I was just like, I've got to push into it.
What's the long-term vision with it?
Just build this community.
Yeah.
I want hundreds of coaches in this community, just taking the tips and building personal brands and getting better at content. I want to obviously work with higher level people on a one-to-one level.
Yeah.
If you look at people like Alex Hormozy and Gary Vee, I always talk about them too. They had Caleb Ralston behind them to have creative conversations with and push their personal brands.
Yeah.
So I want to be that Caleb Ralston guy for these bigger individual guys, someone that they can just have creative conversations with that might give them an idea to go boom, 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 let's go down this direction. So just some sort of creative director, creative strategist. That's where I see myself going. And then maybe some sort of agency model as well, where we do everything for an individual or a brand or whatever. It's really loose in my head right now, but there's a lot that we can do within just like marketing and personal branding and in the online social media space in general. Like there's so much that we can cover. I just want to build a team that can cover everything.
It's not common you see that either, is it? That's unique, that model. I've never heard of that either. So yeah, that is sick.
I think the space for it, because everyone wants to conquer on social media.
Of course I do.
So if I can build a team where I can say, look, you come to us, I've got a team for this, I've got a person for this, and together we'll conquer social media, then
I'd pay you.
Exactly.
Genuine.
But you're the type of person that I'd want to work with. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's where I want to be, that man behind. Because no one, do you know who Caleb Ralston is?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know it, but a lot of people don't know who he is.
Yeah.
You see Alex Hormozy and you think he's the genius.
Yeah, you do.
Bro, he ain't. Yeah. He's having these creative conversations. Obviously, he is. But he's having those creative conversations about content and stuff like that and the direction and what he's doing different with someone else.
That's really unique what you've got there, because it's like you said, a businessman will say, right, you need to post 7 times a week. What are your 4 pillars? And it's like, all right, sweet. These are my 4 pillars. But it's like I'm having a conversation with you now and my brain's going, fucking hell, I need to talk about this, and this. And like that's you being a creative in my mind. And like you might go, I always go for a run, right? And I'll do a run on my own. And bro, the amount of ideas I get in my head, and like I'll come off a run and I want to get the camera out and talk. Yeah. And it's like, if I had somebody with me all the time who doesn't just film, but actually gives me that creative direction of, right, let's talk about this, let's do this, fucking hell.
It's conversation. That's why I said the most valuable thing in like my one-to-one service, because obviously I've been working with Jace and stuff. And you've probably seen that. The most valuable thing is just having creative conversation with someone, because there's not a lot of creative people out there, and you can't talk to certain people about things, like you said, with the business mentors, the really stiff people, business focused people, whereas me and my personality, like I'm built for this. I'm built for this. So you don't want to be paying someone to do this that's like strict and set. You want to look at this guy and go, right, this guy's a bit fucked in the head, but I kind of need that input. So like he fits into this role, do you know what I mean? Because he's going to give me that. He wants to push, like you said at the start, left instead of when everyone's going right. And think of those
and that's
ideas
what you've always
different.
done with your content. Always done that. You've never posted a reel because somebody else has done it and gone viral. And I think that's unique, because I think especially in our industry, so many people think, well, he's having a lot of success. And there's a lot of creators who let's say, programs, and they'll say, right, this guy's done really well. So if you follow him and you mirror his content, you're going to have the same success. Well, just because I follow him and I like him, don't mean I look like him, or I've got his rig, or I've got his brain, or his... So it doesn't always work like that. But a question I want to ask you is, for somebody who's naturally quite introverted like myself, and I really struggle to get in front of camera. I don't now, because it's like having a conversation with you, because I've done it for 5-6 years. What would be your advice to somebody who is naturally introverted, who wants to really push the content but doesn't know how, or just generally freezes when they get in front of a camera?
Do you have to lean into the things that make you uncomfortable and do them over and 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 over again? Like, that's literally it. You've just got to go over and over and over again with the things that's
what I did,
like, you don't like doing. Like, you've probably been on camera so many times now that it doesn't bother you that much. You can't just freeze and stop. You just get better the more that you just try. So it's just try. Just be a trier. That's all I want you to do, and eventually you'll get better at it.
It's going to be shit at start, isn't it? Like, I remember my first ever YouTube, my kitchen at home in Rotherham. Videographer got the camera out. He was like, "Just talk." I was like, "Trying." I'm genuinely trying, and then I watched it back and I saw my face and I heard my voice. I was like, "Fucking hell!" But you have just got to keep showing up, because if you don't, you're not seen, are you? And then you're not creating too much.
So does content get clients is the question.
100%. It builds trust if you do it in the right format. And if you're transparent, I think not a lot of people will be transparent and they'll still grow a business, and an amazing one. Like, I've met so many people I watch the content, I meet them in person, I think, fucking hell, it's a bit quiet. But on socials is the opposite. And I think, like, how can you expect to get clients in our industry without producing content? I think in person, in a gym, on a gym floor, but I think as an online coach, if you really want to build an amazing business, you've got to create the content.
Do you think it's underrated, or it has been underrated? Or do you think people are now starting to actually see the power that it's got?
I think people are starting to see the power now, but I don't think they have the strategy or the vision or the know of what to create. I think that's why I'll be honest, I don't spend a lot of time on social media now, because I consume the same shit by just different people. And I feel your content's very unique, and that's what I always try and do. I try and produce stuff that not everybody else is producing. And I've worked with creators in the past who have come and filmed me and said, "Oh, you should do a reel like this and start it like this." And I've said, respectfully, I'm not going to do that, but I work with this person and they've gone viral because they've done this. Okay, I get that. And it would be nice to go viral, but I want to go viral in my own way. And that's how I've always been. And I think a really good thing is, if you post content and it doesn't do well, you've just got to keep posting it and showing up, because we've all had reels go viral or do well, or photos, but you've just got to keep trying and trying. And I think that's the key take home there.
Yeah. Have you got any tip then, because obviously I give my tip about just going over and over and over again with content.
Yeah.
Any tip for the new coach when it comes to what they need to be focusing on right now, today, like an action step, what they need to be going to research, look at? What's the first step?
It's like I said at the start, get skin in the game, become certified. There's so many coaches who aren't certified. I think I still study every morning. I'm sad as fuck, but I enjoy that. Keeps my brain moving. But I think for coaches who are looking to get in the industry, put some respect on your physique firstly.
Respect.
Look good and have a certain level of authority in your image, because knowledge ain't enough now. Unless you're super educated and you can get a reel by breaking down an execution video in terminology that 5% of people understand, and then you've got to ask yourself, is that going to convert to clients? I think having the right level of skin in the game from a physique and a credibility standpoint and knowledge. And I think you've just got to document your journey. I follow people on socials because I follow them. And when you follow somebody, eventually, in my opinion, you've got the same interests and you're eventually going to buy off them. So you've just got to keep telling a story. And that's all I've ever done, is just tell my story, from working for a different coaching brand to launching my own coaching brand. In my first ever video, when I launched Ben Bray Coaching, I said it was going to be one of the biggest transformation businesses in the UK. I bet people watched that and thought, donut. Fucking donut. Walking in a field. Like
we were saying this before, weren't we? Like, people don't like it when you say it, when you believe in yourself and you actively put that out there.
Yeah. And then 2 years later, I watched that back and thought, I manifested that. We've put the biggest shoots on across the UK, highest standards of results. And that's what I do. And I think like how you talk to yourself internally on a day-to-day basis will dictate the level of success that you have in life. And I truly do believe that if you can manifest a certain level of revenue or a certain level of clients or a certain level of results or a certain level of knowledge, and you put the action in on a day-to-day basis and get up and go and get it, I believe you'll turn that into a reality. And the reason I believe that and say it so passionately is because that's all I've ever done, bro.
Yeah.
Like even now to this day, I talk in the future about my business and me. But the most important thing is I'm doing the work and my staff are in order for that to actually happen. I'm not deluded. There's works in the progress. And I think so many people will come onto social media and they'll talk a fucking mint game, but then they'll close a laptop and fuck all will happen. And I think it's like you've got to be relentless. You've come here, bro. You've met up with people. You've trained with people. You've been absolutely non-stop. Some people come to Dubai, take a photo off the balcony and think they're going to go viral or something's going to fucking happen for them. And I'm sorry to say it's not. Whereas you've got to put yourself in the positions like you have when you've come here to stand out, to be in people's faces, to be recognised, and over time people will be like, fucking hell, yeah.
Yeah, it's a place to do it as well. Like, I went and met up with my barber yesterday, obviously, to get a trim for this podcast.
I saw that story. He's done a good job.
Yeah, 7 years ago, he just came from Ghana. Obviously, he was my barber 3 years ago. He was working at someone else's shop, trimming my hair. And then over these last 3 years, he's cutting Paul Pogba, Jerome Boateng, 6ix9ine, French Montana, all these rappers and footballers' hairs. Now he's got his own shop. It's got a nice coffee shop downstairs. And it's like, bro, you've locked in these last 3 years, man. I love to see this. I don't understand how people are haters. No. How can you be a hater? How can you not just see that story and be like, my guy, like, I'm proud. Men are not told enough that the words I am proud of you.
Yeah, never.
No one's, I don't know who said I'm proud. I think my mum said it maybe for the first time, like a few weeks ago. But apart from that, I'm not sure when I've ever heard it. And that's even from my family. Like I said, the first time, like a couple of weeks ago.
I think my dad told me on holiday this year for the first time. And I've not done bad. The cheeky bastard. Only said it this year. Yeah. And I remember him saying it to me and I was like, whoa, like fair enough. And I think like, yeah, we don't get enough recognition. I think it's nice to just get that pat on the back sometimes and be like, even if it's from one of the boys, keep it up, bro. You're fucking smashing it.
I try to say it all the time to my clients or guys around me. Like I went into the back. First thing I said to him, I was like, bro, I'm proud of you. Like I'm so proud of you. Yeah.
And people,
it's different in it.
And like, bro, do you know what? Do you know when people say that to me, I feel uncomfortable. That says how little we get it. Like when my dad said it, I backed off. I was like, what are you on about? He was like, I'm just proud of you, son. I was like, fucking hell. All right, shut up. And it's like you don't expect that. But mate, back to that story around like your barber is in my gym. I train out of a really nice gym. There's a Kenyan guy in the toilet. He's been there for a full year. Every morning, bro, spuds everybody in the changing room. Morale is high as fuck. 6 a.m. I get there. Comes up to me in the gym when I'm running the other day. He goes, it's probably 2 weeks ago, I'm leaving. I was like, what do you mean you're leaving? He said, it's not enough. I said, bro, you're cushy, you're working. And he's like a janitor in the toilets and in and out of the gym. And I said, but you said you love it. He said, I do. He said, like, love you all. I'm going to miss you all, but there's more. We're in Dubai. I said, what's the plan? He went, I'll find out. And bro, I looked at him. I just said, respect that so much. He messaged me on Instagram. I took his Instagram. He's a barista now. He's like, I've got that next step up. And to some people that might sound so small, but people say Dubai is like built on people who are slaves and things like that. And it's so wrong. It's like they're here because they're trying to stretch the vision for them, the families. And that's the culture here, no matter what level you're at. And he was just a fine example of someone who I said to him, look, you love it. He was like, I know I love it. I love seeing you in the morning and seeing all the clients. But he was like, there's more for me. And now he works in one of the best baristas in downtown. That's what he wanted to do. And he earns more money. And it just took me back. I was like, wow, like what a fucking guy just to go and do that and like take that risk. He didn't even have it lined up, but his contract was up and he was like, no, there's more for me.
Yeah.
And it's just that made me think sometimes you've got to take risks.
When I get to a certain point of income, I just want to help people, man.
Yeah.
I want to, young kids especially, like I love kids, man. Like kids with a dream. Because I just remember me being at that point and how long it's taken me to actually like make the steps that I've wanted to, despite all the sacrifices and the work that I've put in, it still takes a long time. Big ups, big downs. And I just want these teenagers or whatever to have an idea and I be able to help with it. And I'd be able to say, look, I can push you in the right direction. I can give you this connection, can give you this bit of a grant or something like that. I'd love to set up something where I can just help young dreamers be able to get out of a sticky situation. I want to help people that have fucking come from a good background. I'm sorry. I have to say that. I have to help people that the families might not be able to help, will not be able to help them out.
It's a leg up in it.
And if they don't have this help, it's going to be very fucking hard for them to get to where they want to get to.
Yeah. And it is, because I'm from Rotherham and never went without, but at the same time was very much brought up in a family of go and get that 9-5, go and study, work your way up that career ladder. And I remember getting my salary when I'd finished uni and I'd graduated and being like, this is what I'm getting paid, Dad. My dad was like, it's not bad. Did 2 years, bro. Got a small pay rise and I was genuinely insulted. And I was like, told my dad, he was like, yeah, but it's safe. You've got your holiday pay. The career ladder's good. And I said, it's good if you want to be fucking normal. I said, I've never wanted to be normal. I said, with football, as soon as I knew I weren't making it, I fucked it clean off. I was like, right, that's the end of the chapter. I said, I broke your heart, but for me, I'm not getting anywhere with it. And I'm past the age now. And with that job, as soon as I found out, right, pay rise is this amount, career ladder's going to take this long, I just thought, nah, there's more out there for me. And I think you've got to be a certain way inclined to think like that. I think so many people cast that safety net of, right, I've got a 9-5, I've got these bills, I've got these responsibilities, but life moves quick, bro. I'm 31. Right, and I just think in the next 5 years, I'm coming towards my 40s and I've got no regrets now. I've built my dream life. I've retired my mum. I've bought my daddy's dream watch. My family live well. I live well. I've overachieved, but it don't mean I slow fucking down. I keep going.
There's always more. There's always more to get. What's the biggest sacrifice that you've made?
Time with family. See my parents twice a year. My nephew's 5. Not seen him anywhere near enough. My niece is 1. I've probably seen her 4 times. And that hurts me because I'm a very family-orientated man. But I brought all my family to Dubai this year. I got a week in one of the best hotels on the Palm, covered, fully paid for by me. They ate out at restaurants that we could have only dreamed of as kids. And that little minute there was like, that was the best week of my life. And sometimes you have to make sacrifices like that for not just you, but your family, your future family. And I know I'll get that time back eventually. Whether I'll move back, whether, I don't know. But it's just something that my family are very aware of. I've had to sacrifice and I'm very aware of.
I say as I've started to make bigger step forward, I've tried to connect with my family more. Because sometimes I feel like when you are in the hunt for it, you just hate everyone and everything that isn't the goal.
Yeah.
And you start obviously just ruining all of your connections and like your family connections and everything, because you're also sometimes in pain because the life's not going as you want it to go. So then that kind of brushes off on other people and your connections start to get they just start to not be like how they should be. So I've tried to kind of bring my connections back and try to connect with my mum and dad better and just try and be happy about life, because when you are on that build, you can be very unhappy about life. Yeah,
bro, I lived with my mum when I was trying to build the coaching, when I was trying to push social media, and I was skint and I was taking money off my mum, my dad. I was at an age where some of my mates were doing really well career-wise, and we was booking a beef and I couldn't really afford it with the boys, and I was resentful, and I was like, fucking hell, like, when am I going to get this break? And my stepdad used to always say to me, you'll get a break. I thought, fuck off. When am I going to get a break? I genuinely thought that. And I felt so tight for saying that. I thought, I'm not. And I kept banging my head against the wall, kept showing up, putting the hours in. And I got it. And I look back and it was just hard work. And people say that, and it's so easy to listen to and think, well, it's never going to be me. But if you quit, it's not. That's the key. You can't quit. You just got to keep rolling the fucking dice. And when you start rolling it more and more and more and accepting that taking hits on the way up and losing is part of the lessons, that's where you'll get somewhere.
Yeah.
But I lent like $5,000 off my mum for a coaching website, all automated coaching. Gave him a nutrition plan in about 5 hours after signing up. I thought, fucking hell, what have I done here? Like, this is not what I got. And I made some money back, but quickly realized like this is just against me. Like I was tailoring all the plans. It was an automated system, so I was sending them. I was changing it. I was like, fucking hell, this is not how I want to run a business. Diluted it and kind of looked at my mum. I was like, yeah, that $5,000 I lent, said I'd make it back, but there's no chance. And she was just like, you go again. And I did. And that's when, thankfully, I bumped into the right people who had built good coaching businesses, who I took ideas from and inspiration from, and I worked closely with. And that's all I've done now is I coach a lot of coaches and I help them so much. And people are like, why do you never go into mentoring? And I'm like, because that's not my passion. My passion is seeing people develop for the physiques, craft the mindsets. And I help them so much, and they've gone on there. Even my friends here who signed up with me as a client in a 9-5, they now live across the street from me in Dubai, earning ridiculous money. And it's like, but why did you help them? And it's like, there's enough food for us all to eat. Fitness is the biggest it's ever been. So if you're being a spiteful bastard, it'll bite you in the ass later, I believe.
Yeah, I don't get that.
No, like, I don't.
There's so much out there. There's so much out there. Everyone. I'm trying to stay in my lane and not cross over into being a business mentor, which is proving tough because I'm becoming an enemy to business mentors. Yeah. Because a lot of the coaches are realizing, maybe, you know what, I just need to sort my content out and I can deal with the business stuff myself. Yeah. I think a lot of the coaches are realizing that. So then I become an enemy because I'm specializing in that content area, which is what they need.
Which is then going to grow the business.
Which is going to grow the business. But like, I don't want to be a business. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I don't want to be like a super business mentor because that's not me. Because then you get back to that rigid approach that I was talking about, where it's like you're tracking this, you're doing this, you're doing that. I want to be creative. I want to be free flowing. I want people to enjoy content. I want people to enjoy the whole experience of like social media and like being online and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think one exercise I did a few years ago, and one of the key questions that stood out is what like tasks in your day drain you, and answer it as truthfully as you can. And I looked at what drained me, and bro, it was crunching numbers, paying invoices. I was thinking, I don't want to keep doing this. Like looking at how much revenue I'd made, what my profit and loss was. And that's when I made a decision to say, right, my girlfriend had moved with me. She's smart as fuck, a lot more book savvy than me. And I made her my operations manager. And after that day then, that allows me to be the leader of the community, the best coach that I can be, create content, because I know everything else that I don't enjoy doing is taken care of. And if you then went into the business side of things, you might be crunching numbers and thinking, fucking hell, why am I doing this? When all I want to be doing is being creative and help people and having the conversations that you love now. And I think people fall into a trap of that because they see the numbers, they see the revenue, and they just live an unfulfilled life. And I think the key to success is not just money. It's waking up every day, doing something that you absolutely love that is helping people. I think is both of our missions.
Yeah. I think we should just end it with that.
Yeah.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
Fucking smashed it.
Pleasure, bro. Pleasure.